Anshuman Raj from grade 6A and a learner of the Goenka Public School. I am participating in Veer Gatha 3.0 and my topic is Role of Tribal Uprising in Freedom Struggle. Now, it is a multimedia presentation made by me. Now I am going to explain it. So, these tribes which are mentioned in the presentation were really important for us for our India's present freedom. Now, first was the Coals Uprising from 1831 to 1832. Now, the Coals were a tribal group inhabiting the Chota Nagpur Plateau in present-day Jharkhand. They rose against the Britishers and their local allies, the Zamindars, who exploit them through high rents. See, as Britishers were there and Britishers took high taxes and the Zamindars at that time gave them rent at very high cost. Now, forced labor, and suppose that if the tribe group, for example, suppose someone name is Thakur, he is from the Coals tribe. So, what will happen if he will not be able to pay the loans? Then what will happen? That they will force him to become a laborer. Now, this uprising was led by Buddhu Bhagat. Now, as the So, the uprising was led by Buddhu Bhagat, who claimed to be a prophet and mobilized the Coals to fight for their rights and dignity. Now, as he stand outed, Buddhu Bhagat told every person belonging to the Coal tribe to fight for their rights and their dignity. Now, this is one of the famous picture we have got from the Coals uprising. Now, the Kanthal uprising, which was from 1855 to 1856. Now, the Kanthals were a tribal group living in present-day Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal and Odisha. They rose against the British rule, zamindars, moneylenders and traders who encouraged upon their lands, forests and resources. See what happened. Britishers want to take over their land for agriculture and these tribal groups were very good at agriculture. So what happened? See? So what happened? Britishers suppose took this much land. Okay. Suppose the Britishers took this much land. And then what happened? They wanted to grow crops on it. Okay. Wanted to grow crops on it, but they didn't had enough knowledge how to do agriculture better than Indians. So they didn't had better knowledge of how to do agriculture better than Indians. So what they did, they called these tribes Santhal tribes, and the Britishers asked them to do work for that. But Santhal tribes were trapped because the Zamindars, similar to the Coal tribe, were taking high loans. See, Zamindars, moneylenders upon their lands. See, Zamindars were not giving them loans and their land. For example, suppose I don't have any land. I want a land for in which I can live. So what these Zamindars will do, that they will ask me for 25 lakh. See, 25 lakh is very much in present 2023 and at that time 1855 to 56 it was way more. So they didn't be able to pay this much money lenders. Now if I am not able to pay that, what I will do? I will take a loan from the bank, but at that time the bank was not there, so they took it from money lenders. Suppose there is something known as interest. If I suppose take 2,500, then what the money lender will do, that he will say, okay, I will give you 2,500, but For that, I will take 10% interest. Means 10% of this, which is 250, I will take extra 250, which is in total 2750. Okay, 250 more. So it is only 10%. But what the money lenders were doing, they were crossing the limit of 50% and taking 60%, 70%. Now, because of this, many of them were not even able to take loans, and many of them did suicide. Our pricing was led by four brothers: Siddhu, Kanu, Sad, and Bhairav. Now, there is a fact. The fact is that our honorable president of Bharat, Draupadi Murmu, is belonging from Santhal tribe only. And one more fact, the Santhal tribe was the first tribe to defeat British. It is very proud moment for us. Now, the story of Santhal tribes. Britishers took Santhal for agriculture, but Santhals were trapped. Were trapped because Zamindar started to exploit Santhals after they were given the permanent and hereditary rights over hand. Money lenders gave them loans at a very high interest, and if they didn't give the money back, money lenders took over their land, as I told it. This was the reason many Santhal did suicide. First Indian tribe to defeat British. It's a fun fact. Now it is the picture of Santhal tribe. Now the next tribe is the Khon tribe for the Khon uprising, which was from 1837 to 1859, which is a really long period. The Khons were a tribal group living in present-day Odisha. They rebelled against the British rule and its politics that interfered with their religious practices. See, as earlier, means not that much earlier, but earlier, when there was a rumor that the guns which were made by British, the rifles were made by the meat of pig and cow. See, this were affecting most of the religions in India. For example, Muslims think that pigs are dirty, so they didn't use the rifles, because we have to pull the rifles with our mouth. And Indians think that the cows are holy, so they also didn't did it. So they what did it? They interfered their religious practices. Britishers were not of our religions, Hindu, Muslim of our country. So what they did, that they interfered with our religious practices and didn't wanted us to do our religious practices. Now, and the human rights sacrifice. Now, so the human sacrifice ritual known as Mera. The uprising was led by the leaders Chakra and Dora Bisoi. Next tribe is the Munda uprising from 1899 to 1900. Now, the Mundas were a tribal group living in present-day Jharkhand. They revolted against the British rule and its politics. See, what the Britishers were doing, that they were taking over their land. For example, suppose I am a Munda, I am a person from Munda tribe. This is my land. I am growing crops in it, crops, and I am growing trees in it, trees. Now, what will happen? I have put so much and lot of effort in this land. Now, Britishers will do what? They will forcefully take over my land and don't give me money. And so this tells that my money is wasted. Yes, this tells my money is wasted. So, and Britishers opened factories in India and they took raw materials, for example, cotton, etc., cotton, jute, etc., from India and made products with it and sold it in high rate, because of which many Indians couldn't afford that. Any Indians who is selling any cloth or etc. will not be allowed to sell it, because if he will sell it in a less price than Britishers, then every people will purchase from that person, not from Britishers. So by what Britishers did, Britishers had power. Means yes, they had power. Indians were not knowing at that time. After the first war of independence, they all were knowing that we should have independence. They forced them to grow many plants, which requires a very good climate and very much effort to grow it. And they were not paying money for that. Even they were punishing us. Now, uprising was led by Birsa Munda, who proclaimed himself as the messenger of God and called for an end to British rule. Okay, he proclaimed, means he claimed himself that suppose I am Birsa Munda. Now I am saying that I am the proclaimed himself as the messenger of God. I am the messenger of God, and for an end to British rule. He has came for to end the British rule. And next is Gaya rebellion from 1914 to 1920. The Goyas were a tribal group living in present day Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. They resisted the British rule and its politics that imposed forest laws, taxes. See, what are taxes? Basically, taxes. Suppose I have a salary of 2000 per month. Suppose I am a worker under British, so I have 2000 per month. Now we have 10% taxes, 10%, 2% taxes. So because of which the taxes decreased, but at that time Britishers took more taxes. For example, 10 not 10 but 60% or 70%. So by paying the taxes, they didn't had enough money to run their family. Now for these and there are also restrictions on their traditional practices. Now the rebellion was held by Alluri Sitarama Raju, who claimed to be the reincarnation of Lord Rama. So next is the Rampa rebellion from 1879 to 1924. It is a very long time. So the Rampas were a tribal group living in present-day Andhra Pradesh. They fought against the British and its politics. They exploited their lands, forests, and resources. Means what happened? Britishers were taking over their lands, forests, and their resources. So, and even not giving them money. For example, if government, suppose it is road, and if I want, there is a big house here, and if I want to purchase the house, I will not just get into that house and say, oh, hands up, I will take your house and all the resources. No, it's not the way. I will first talk to him that are you selling, do you want to sell the house, and for how much? Then I will pay the money, and then I will buy the house and the resources. But what happened? Britishers didn't pay the money. Even Britishers had, but they didn't pay the money and took over the land, forest, resources. The rebellion was led by leaders like Gantam Dora, Rani Gantamma, Narasimha, and Manyam. So next is the Tana Bhagat movement. The Tana Bhagat were a tribal group living in present day Jharkhand. Means living in present day, Yes. Living in present day Jharkhand. So, they protested against the British rule and its politics that imposed taxes, forced labor. Yes, it's forced labor. For example, if I don't want to work under British and suppose I cannot grow crops in a different condition, it requires a different climate, but they are forcing me without any money that do our work, produce the plants and the resources which need a very good care and very good climate. Now, the movement was led by Jatra Oran, who adopted Gandhian principles of non-violence. As he adopted Gandhiji principles, what Gandhiji followed? Gandhiji followed non-violence. Similarly, he also followed non-violence and fought against the British with non-violence. See, our Gandhiji always followed non-violence, means we can do work with smartness too. Similarly, he also did. Now is the end of the presentation. Thank you, and at last I would like to thank these tribes for helping us in our India's freedom and independence. Thank you everyone, and thank you. My name is Anshuman, and we will see you later. We will meet again later.